Hey everybody, now we're going to work on 7.7 in pre-cal on product to sum and sum to product. So why we're studying this is the sum and difference formulas, which we did already, lead to product to sum and sum to product formulas. They're a little bit less popular than those, they're used less, but the trig identities in general are in most college trig, pre-cal, and calculus courses. The goal is to improve your confidence so you can succeed. And there's going to be a application, like a word problem, where the sum formula relates to frequencies emitted by touch-tone phones. So your objectives are to express products as sums and sums as products. So these do have some formulas in here. So in this section, we use the sum and difference formulas, which derive the formulas for the products of sines and cosines as either sums or differences. These are usually called the product to sum formulas. To express the products as sums, use one of the formulas below, substitute, and simplify. Now, if you're using if you're multiplying using the same trig function like sine times sine, then make sure your first angle is the larger one. That's important since you may have to subtract. You don't want a negative angle. No negative angles. You also may have to use your even and odd identities if you get a negative angle. Like our goal is to not have a negative angle, but if you get one, then use the even and odd identities. And then here's your actual formulas. Now these do not show up on this anywhere, and they're also not on your whole sheet of paper that has your reciprocals, your quotients, your Pythagorean. Now there are your odd and even function identities. And here's the trig co-function, like when we said 90 minus x, like on something recent, those are on here. And then there's your sum and difference and double angle and half angle. But there's no other formulas on the formula chart for this. And so you're going to have to keep track of these formulas separate. You still may have to refer to the unit circle, but you're going to need these on 7.7, these in particular. So what we have is sine A, sine B is really a half of cosine. So it changes from sine to cosine, and then on this one you subtract, and then on this one you add. So it changed to cosine. And on this one we have cosine A, cosine B is a half of actually the same thing. Cosine A minus B plus, so that's the part that's different, and then cosine A plus B. Your third is if you have sine times cosine, then your formula is a half sine A plus B plus sine A minus B. Now, on that one, you do your plus first and minus second. But on this one, we do our minus first and our plus second. So you're going to have to pay really close attention to that when we're doing our problems. Now to express the sums, meaning like sine A plus sine B, as a product, use one of these formulas and simplify. So sine of A plus sine B is 2. It looks like that's like the average because it's A plus B over 2. But then on this one, it's like the difference over 2. Okay, so you're going to do that. Looks like I'm missing a close parentheses, but it's all right. No, I'm not. There's one, there's one, there's one. Okay, good. So now this one was the 2 sine, and then you have the difference over 2, and then the average. That's when it's sine A minus sine B. Now this one, it's cosine A plus cosine B. And so I guess the takeaway that I'm seeing is if it's a plus, you're going to have an average. And then there's the minus or difference, divide by 2. And then on this one, it's really different because you do cosine A minus cosine B and you get a negative. So notice the negative. And then on this part, you do the average, A plus B over 2, and on this part, you do the difference. So we'll work through these using all those formulas. Now, the print seems a little smaller, but we'll be all right. Okay. I guess it wanted to fit that many problems on a sheet or something. I don't know. So find the exact value of sine 165 times cosine 45. It's multiple choice, and so like if you wanted to be lazy on multiple choice, this is a test strategy. Type that, make sure you're in degree mode. Because I know this one's negative 0.5, positive 0.5. Okay, so we are in degree mode. If we do sine 165 times cosine 45, we get 0.183. If we do square root of 2 over 2, we get 0.707. That was one of your common ones. And if I do this one, which is square root of 3 minus 1 in your numerator, and then 4 in your denominator, I get the 0.183. And so since these match, then D is your answer. So that's like a test strategy if it's multiple choice. That's not going to be your best method, but it is there. Sometimes you're going to have multiple choice, sometimes you won't. And to prepare you for college, you shouldn't just rely on that. So now I'm going to show you like what formula to use. We're doing the sine times cosine, so it's this one. So here's that formula that I just wrote down. And so remember what we said earlier is the A has to be the larger angle. So A is going to be the 165 and B is going to be the 45. So this, I'm just changing the bracket to parentheses because that's how we type it usually on the calculator. So we have 165 plus 45 over 2. And on this one we have 165 minus 45. So let's simplify further. So 165 plus 45. It's 210. Divide by 2 is 105. And this would be 125. Okay, so one thing real quick, I just made a mental mistake. 165 minus 45 is 120, not 125. And here I'm going to say use the unit circle. And so you want where y relates to sine. And so if we do sine 105, we go to 105. I needed to do a quick update because the half is in front of everything. And so this needs to be crossed out. So this is sine of a plus b, which is really 210. And now you can use your unit circle. So I copied this down wrong, my bad, because like over here, it is right, 1/2 and then this. I was thinking about this formula with the sine when I put divide by 2. So be careful on which formula you choose. But this one only has the half in front of everything. And so that needs to be like that because 210 is right there and you get a negative 1/2. And then sine of 120, so you go to 120 and there's square root of 3 over 2. So if we get a common denominator, this would be 1/2. And then let's go ahead and put the square root of 3 first, and then the minus 1, all that over 2. And then if you multiply straight across, you get square root of 3 minus 1 all over 2 times 2 is 4. So that is how you get your exact answer. So that's how you do that one. Okay, on your next one, you do sine 255 times sine 75. First step is we just want to write down the sine formula. So that formula is 1/2 cosine A minus B, which in Math Excel, if you look at the view and example, they use Greek letters. It's alpha and beta, which are Greek letters. Like I'm the alpha and you're the beta. Or, or a beta fish, or like a superstar saying they're the alpha. Anyway, it's A minus B. So 1/2 cosine A minus B minus cosine A plus B. So let's work on that. So we go 1/2 cosine, alpha is bigger, so 255 minus 75 minus cosine 255 plus 75. And let's see what we get. So 255 minus 75 gives you 180. Cosine at 180 is the x value, so that's -1. And then this one, 255 plus. So I'm going to be lazy and just go up there, change this to plus, and get 330. Cosine of 330. So I go to 330. Cosine is x, so I get square root of 3 over 2. Now, we got to get a common denominator. No, actually, we're done. This matches this. 1/2, -1 minus square root of 3 over 2. Of course, you probably could have done your test strategy since it's multiple choice, but there it is. Learn how to use the formula. Okay, on the next one we have cosine 90 minus cosine 30. Now that's not that bad, surprisingly. Cosine of 90, just go to 90 and you get 0. And cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2. And so your answer is negative square root of 3 over 2. So that's actually not bad at all for number 3. On this one, we've got a sine, and they want you to use a formula. So the formula for sine, sine is 1/2, and then I'm going to flip the paper. Actually, didn't we do this earlier? Yeah, we did. So that's this one. And it was cosine of A minus B minus, and then cosine A plus B. And then parentheses around this whole thing. Something like that. Oh, I forgot to do this one right there. Okay. Okay, so this would be 1/2 cosine. Then A is 9 theta. It's not 90, it's 9 theta, which means 9x. But of course they're going to use theta. And then B is 2 theta. Which is like 2x. We do need this. And then this one, minus cosine 9 theta plus 2 theta. So at that step right there, we have 1/2, and then cosine of 9 theta minus 2 theta is 7 theta. And then, I guess, put parentheses around it. Then minus cosine 9 theta plus 2 theta is 11 theta. And so that's your answer. Because apparently we couldn't do anything else with it. So that's not that bad either. The main thing is, like, don't think of it as 90 minus 20 is 70. It's 7 theta. So 7 theta, not 70. Okay, and then just continuing, this one's sine cosine. So the sine cosine one was like the first one we did, which was the 1/2 sine A plus B plus sine A minus B. So this is 1/2 sine. A is 7 theta, and B is 4 theta. So again, 7 theta minus 4 theta. Well, that's just 1/2 sine 11 theta plus sine 3 theta. And that's our answer. Now we have another one right here. This time it's cosine, cosine. So here's your formula for this one. And so I think we have to do this one a bit different. Let's rearrange the order. So we can call this one A, this one B. So this will be 9 theta minus 4 theta. And 9 theta plus 4 theta. Remember, we didn't want a negative answer, so that's why we had to switch the order. Switch order. So A is bigger. And so when we do this, we get a half cosine 9 theta minus 4 theta is 5 theta. It's not 50, it's 5 theta. Plus cosine of 9 theta plus 4 theta is 13 theta. So that'd be that answer right there.